Alright, so, my lord, I had an awesome idea. This is number 3 today. Are you sure you're not tired? You sure you want to do this right now? What? When you feel the call to do a thing, you have to do the thing. When I feel the call to do a thing, I have to do the thing. So, Hashem, I had this idea that came to me, well, that you gave to me. When I was watching that video that Mrs. Kim did in relation to the video that I did yesterday, it got me thinking about, well, she said it about being afraid of death and how people like us are afraid of dying. And it made me laugh because she's right. Like, I've always been afraid of dying. I used to be afraid of even Googling how to kill myself in a way that would be quick and easy and painless. But while I was writing in response to her video, I started going on about Torah, the commandment, fear only me, capital M. So I started breaking it down. Fear me more than you fear failure. Fear me more than you fear death. And the reason I love that commandment, that mitzvah, really, fear God more than you fear anything else, because of what that means on a bigger scale. Because if you really think about it, how many things, as just in general, Jew, non-Jew, whatever, how many things that we don't do because we're afraid of the outcome. We're afraid it's not going to work out. We're afraid we're going to look like a fucking idiot. Afraid of dying. And I know in the early days of my studies, of my Torah studies, it had hit me what that really means, to fear God, and fear only God, to fear only you. And what that means to me is exactly how I laid it out. Fear you more than failure, regret, embarrassment. But something I wrote in response to her video when I was doing examples of fear me, capital M, fear me more than XYZ. I wrote, fear me more than you fear success. Or rather, what I started to do, I started to give examples. Whenever I feel like I fear something, anytime I feel afraid of something, I tell you straight up, I fear XYZ more than I fear you. And then you come through and you give me a reason, either through some kind of synchronicity or just some insight that reminds me of why I shouldn't be afraid of that thing because I have you in my corner. the Rocky analogy. You're my Mickey. Get up, Rock. I love that. So to paint the picture, I wrote, these are some examples. I fear that I'm going to live at my mother's house, quote, forever. And then I wrote, I fear success more than I fear you. And then that's when I had that light bulb go off. And you showed me a glimpse of the future. You showed me this. You showed me doing this right now. And I was going to wait till the phone was fully charged, because I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if this is going to be like a full... It's definitely not going to be 2 hours long. I don't think. It might be. I don't know. You know what? I'm more afraid of how long this is going to last than I am of you. Don't be. Doesn't matter, because the point's already made. This right now, I feel what you're showing me is, why do you fear success? What do you mean? What are you going to be successful at? This, rabbi to the world, the first and only Jewish pope. Yesterday we were talking about this. What do you want your purpose to be? Because we can ask you all day long, like, oh, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? Why did you make me? Why did you make me? And we're never going to get the answer that we want. Which is when you and I were demonstrating that sometimes we have to tell you what we want our purpose to be. And what do I want my purpose to be? To be the Pope of the Jews. The Jewish equivalent of the Pope. Call it Mashiach, call it whatever the hell you want. That is what I want my purpose to be. And I fear not getting what I want more than I fear you. What do you mean by that? What do I mean is I'm afraid I'm going to have to get a regular job. But the odd thing is, like, I'm not really afraid of that. I know that I'm not going to. And this goes back to what you just said. You asked me what succeed at what? Succeed at being the world teacher. Being the teacher of the world. Being the guide for everyone. This is the way. Follow me. This is my way. May my way help illuminate your way for you, viewer. That's what I mean. And what are you doing to make that happen? This is what I'm doing to make that happen. So my idea, or the idea that you gave me, however anybody wants to look at it, is that I wanted to lay out fears of mine that I fear more than you, so that you can show me why I don't need to be afraid of those things. But the challenge is, although, I mean, I'm laughing that I'm saying challenge, that it's a challenge, but it's really not. But the challenge is I have to be genuine about what it is that I'm afraid of. I can't just, I'm afraid of a fucking meteor falling on my head. How you doing, man? I'm afraid of a fucking meteor falling on my head. I'm afraid of my mom walking in my room and catching me jerking off. Like, you know, not stuff like that, but... I mean, that is something, yeah, I fear that more than I fear you. I fear both of those. Well, I mean, I fear the latter more than the former, but that's all right. I think every man fears that. Every man and boy and teenager fears that more than anything else. God forbid. Or you don't even think about it until it happens. Or anyone else, for that matter, not just mom. But most especially mom. I fear things I fear more than you. The way I laid it out was, I'm talking about those fears that are so fucking terrifying that you don't even want to say them. God forbid you speak it into existence. I don't even want to think about that. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Those type of fears. Those fears that I don't want to think about. And if you could, my Lord, it would mean so much to your servant if you could give me a glimpse into the depths of my heart and my ego, into my Yetzer Hara, and show me what it is that I fear more than you, because you're going to know better than me. Yeah? He who sees secret thoughts. All right. What better place than here? What better time than now? Yeah? So what we're demonstrating is how to make the perfect team with God. Because believing in God, anyone can say they believe in God. Anyone literally has the potential to believe in God. It's a matter of believing God and trusting God. That and knowing God too. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not so simple. But what I would like you and I to work on, at least for the duration of this video, is exactly what I said. To help me think and conjure what fears I have that I fear more than you, that I don't need to. I want to squash some fears. I want to do some real fucking work. Some serious fucking work. That if someone watches this, I want this to be watched and someone watches this go, holy shit. Ugh. That's scary. That idea is scary. Why is it scary? Because I have this fear of success. So the fear goes like this. It's this fear fantasy where, why am I afraid to say that? Thank you. Speaking of fear of success, I'm afraid of success. I'm afraid of getting popular. I'm afraid. I feel so stupid saying this. Why? I'm afraid of becoming a Jewish celebrity. But I'm also afraid of becoming like a worldwide, global phenomenon celebrity. Why? I don't know. I love attention. I love people wanting to know me. I have this fear. And you know what I'm saying? Thank you. This is something I actually really want to do, but I'm so fucking afraid of it. I'm afraid of being on the Joe Rogan podcast. These aren't real fears. I hear the crowd saying, no, trust me, they are. I'm at a point, I'm on a whole other, listen, I already got over I'm afraid of my ex-wife leaving me. I'm afraid of the alimony. I'm afraid of the court system calling me in. I'm already past it. I don't pay my alimony because I'm waiting. I haven't paid my alimony in 6 years because I'm waiting for the fucking court to call me. So the judge can ask me, why have you not paid your alimony in 6 years? So that you could call me in and I can answer that exact question with the answer that I'm giving you right now. Because a week before my divorce hearing, my ex-mother-in-law said, if you want to see your son again, you better talk to a lawyer. That's why. I don't pay a ransom. And I definitely don't pay ransom that's pronounced alimony, which I was very clear about. So it's not like this is a secret. I mean, within the family circle, which there is no family circle, because I haven't even talked to the fucking kid in 6.5 years. I haven't seen the kid in 6.5 years. I haven't heard his sweet, delicate voice in 6.5 years. Dude was fucking 11 years old the last time I saw him. He's gonna be 18 in a couple months. So yeah, no, I'm not afraid of that shit no more. Because, thank you, Lord, we've been preparing for that. I've been training. Why haven't I paid my alimony in 6 years? Because, Your Honor, I've been preparing for this. I've been preparing for this moment. I'm afraid of going to jail for that. I'm afraid of the judge not giving a fuck. I'm afraid of the court system not even caring. Because I don't think state employees, they really give a shit about their job. And a judge is just another state employee. It's not like it's some prestigious thing. I don't think. It's just another state employee. A state or federal employee that doesn't give a shit about their job when they're not clocked in. And when they are clocked in, they don't give a shit about their job, except when the fuck am I gonna be over? I don't make overtime. I get that. But I'm not the one that hired you. I'm afraid of having to be a statesman. I'm afraid of becoming a politician. I'm afraid that my fears, Hashem, I'm afraid that my fears are gonna sound stupid to other people, but this goes back, thank you for reminding me, this goes back to what we were just saying. Fear me, capital M-E. Fear me more than you fear looking stupid. Fear me more than you fear being a statesman. Fear me being the best fucking statesman ever, who doesn't need a security force because I, Big I, am your security force. Fear me more than you fear being on the Joe Rogan podcast. Fear me more than you fear being on Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu. Fear me more than you fear owning Hollywood. Fear me more than you fear owning the music industry. These are fears. They're fantasies, but what holds us back from going for our goals and our dreams is fear, yeah? Right? Thank you. So rather than being afraid of losing my job or not being able to pay my car payment, not that I have either of those things, this is my job. I don't have a car. My license is my license is expired and suspended at the same time. So it's like a fucking double whammy. Which is fine because, as my ex-wife can attest, I fucking hate driving. I like being escorted around. I like having a woman escort me around. I used to play golf with my aunt. My lord, I've asked this question before, but do Jews play golf? Do Jews like golf? I love golf. I don't count my game because I don't play like that, with that level of skill, but I have this fantasy. I'm more afraid of playing golf with a pack of rabbis than I am of you. Why? Why? Because I'm afraid of looking stupid. And the same reason that I would be afraid of being featured on the Joe Rogan podcast or on Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu. I'm afraid I would freeze up. That's what I'm saying. I'm afraid of having to stand in front of the UN as your ambassador and going stone cold. I'm afraid of not being able to keep it up, so to say, in a live scenario. I'm afraid of high-ranking, quote, high-level people not buying my bullshit and making a fool out of me. Although, like Rabbi Jesus said, it's not me you're insulting, it's him. You're insulting the one who sent me. You're not greeting me, you're greeting the one who sent me. Which, what'd you say? Which is further evidence that even in the Christian Gospels, Jesus recognizes and acknowledges that he's not God. He was sent by God. He is not God. You, my Lord, are the God of Jesus Christ. What do I fear? Oh, God, again, we're talking about this. I fear that I'm never going to get comfortable with this. I fear Miss Kim. I fear that, God, why are you doing this to me? Because this is exactly what I fucking said. You brought this on yourself. Don't be. You did. I did. I brought it on myself. I fear not spending the rest of my life with Miss Kim. I fear not making this all work with Miss Kim. I fear Miss Kim not being the patriarch to my matriarch. God, this is fucking... I wanted to do cool stuff. You're telling me this is the coolest stuff I could possibly do. I know, but it's so... Oh my God. What's the problem? The problem... Hold on, there's fucking people behind me. Let me go down this way. The fucking problem. Because I'm afraid of fucking looking stupid. I'm afraid of embarrassing myself. I'm afraid of love. And I'm afraid that I'm never gonna find out why the fuck you moved this woman into my head, because it's you. I didn't fucking do it. You did it. And it's not fucking fair. Because, my Lord, I'm telling you right fucking now, I know, I don't ever lose my shit like this. You know what? Don't you fucking go nowhere. Because we're having it out. Me and God, we're having it out. I had enough of the bullshit. Because you know what? This shit with Miss Kim has been going on for 6 fucking years. 6 fucking years. Do you understand that? And I'm not saying this has nothing to do with her. This is between you and me, motherfucker. I'm getting heated. I know trust me. Hashem, I'm getting fucking real fucking heated. And I know I'm gonna calm down, but I gotta get it out of me, right? Shit or get off the fucking pot. Get your fucking shit together. Oh, you know what I feel like? You know what I feel like right now? I feel like Job. I feel like Job. Where it's like, where you come down and you gave Job the business and was like, listen, little man, let me tell you how it is. And I know how it is. I know. But, my Lord, God, creator of the universe, supreme grand master of masters, one must first lose their shit before they can then find their shit again. And another valuable lesson that I learned from Job is before you put Job in his place, you did allow Job to speak his mind. I don't think that he went to the depths of calling you a motherfucker, but fear of God. I fear the consequences of losing my shit on you more than I fear you. Does that make sense? I shouldn't be afraid. Fearing God is not the same as being afraid of God. Don't be afraid of God. Fear God. Fear only me, because what can you achieve with your life if you fear nothing? Now, the logic is, thank you, that it's not possible to fear nothing. Everyone fears something. But the solution is to fear God more than you fear that thing. And a good example of this would be, I believe it was Ezekiel, who was deathly afraid of going to a particular town. And I'm not talking about Jonah, because the same thing happened to Jonah, I know. But I believe it was Ezekiel who you gave the threat to. And I fucking love this. Because I knew exactly what you were talking about. Because Ezekiel was shitting his pants. Ezekiel was scared shitless. Because he kept on saying, like, if I go there and I say the things that you want me to say, they're going to kill me. These people are going to rip me apart. And then you said, you're going to go, not only are you going to go there, but you're going to say everything that I said. You're going to smash them with your words, or I am going to smash you in front of them. Okay. No problem. I'll do it. I'll just shut up and do it. Little man, let me tell you how it is. Yes, master. So the idea and the teaching, I would say that we're trying to convey is that it is possible, as in it is not impossible, to conquer every single fear by way of God. Which is why when we learn about the Torah laws of engagement in the later portions of Torah, it's said that the priest on duty has to go out to the troops and like conduct an interview with every single one of them and find out if that particular person has anything going on in their life that may distract them from what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is you need to go into that fucking town, that city, that state, and you need to wipe these motherfuckers off the fucking the face of the earth, or turn them into slaves and bring their asses back so we can divvy up the spoils. because your fear, the fear that you're feeling, that is, you're afraid, you just got married, you're afraid that some guy's gonna come over and bang your wife. You're right, he is. So go home. You just planted a vineyard and you're afraid of somebody harvesting all the fruits of your labor. Okay, go home. Because we don't want your fear to infect everybody else. So go home, take care of your shit, and then, trust me, there's gonna be more wars, there's gonna be more conquering, there's gonna be more takeovers. And we're ready, willing, and able to bring you back, but we need you with a fucking clear head. Because if you fear anything more than God, you are not going to achieve the results that we need you to achieve. And that goes even more for Jews. I mean, granted, it's directed at Jews, but this is practical advice that I think that anybody could apply to their life. Which is why, I know, my little fears of celebrity status, I know that's really stupid. Why are you afraid of that? Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be? Attention. You don't want to be, I'm afraid of being one of those 15 minutes of shame assholes. That's something I fear. I fear not accomplishing everything and more that was done by Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and Genghis Khan. That's one of the reasons why I study Aristotle. I'm doing a favor to my inner child. I'm doing a favor to my inner children by giving them a royal education. Newtonian physics replaced Aristotelian physics. Yeah, but you know what? When was the last time there was an Alexander the Great? So either what we replaced it with is subpar, because we aren't. I don't know the last world leader that was a master physician, a master physicist. We have the billionaire. Would you call him an entrepreneur? I would say an entrepreneur. Yeah, entrepreneur. Reality TV star. I'm in. And who was before that? Lawyers. Lifelong politicians. I don't know. Like just buffoons. Yeah? See, now I'm not big on scientists getting into government because scientists are too logical. What government needs least is more lawyers. What government needs more of are people who have absolutely no law experience whatsoever. This way we can look at the law. No, just get this out of here. What do you mean it's 1,000 pages? Throw it away. Done. I mean, you want my opinion? What the United States needs is a fucking tyrant. Like a real tyrant. But a fun kind of tyrant. Like the kind of tyrant that you're like, I like this guy. I fucking like him. What it needs is a king. We need a monarch. A heretical monarch. A dynastic monarch. One who is going to, a fourth branch of government, thank you. A fourth branch of government that oversees the federal government. Now, what we know about tyrants is that tyrants rule by fear. But the people don't want to be afraid, and nor should they be. The people should love their tyrant. The only people that should be fearing the tyrant are the politicians. Which is why I'm kind of putting together in my head the blueprint of the kingdom of Israel and how that works. Because the kingdom of Israel, as laid out in Torah, there's a civil government, there's the general population, but then there's the civil government, and then there is the ecclesiastical government that oversees the civil government. Just to make sure that there's no fuckery going on. That's my future for my United States. And then from there, we kind of just start the one world order and kind of take over everything. We don't have to take over anything, because the way I'm looking at it is, I'm afraid of having to be the one to push the button. I mean, I want to. I would love to. I would love it. It's like a dream of mine since I was a kid, to be the guy that actually pushed the button that started World War III. Oh my fucking God. I have it all planned out in my head too. To get into the White House and then bomb New York. Or bomb just one vastly sparsely populated city in my own country. This way, and hear me out. Because it makes sense in the long run. And I'll tell you where I got the idea from. Because I got the idea from King Solomon. Once we bomb our own people with a fucking big nuclear weapon, make a fucking wasteland out of one of our most celebrated cities, right? Then we look at the fucking world. Then we get on camera and we go, you see what we just fucking did? You're next. Bow down. Kiss my ring. Just like Paul Atreides did with the Emperor in the movie. He didn't do that in the book, though. The kiss the ring part did not happen in the book. And Aaliyah, his sister, is the one who killed the Baron, not Paul. I don't know why they left all that shit out. Probably for PC bullshit reasons, but after King Solomon was crowned the new king of Israel, replacing his father, King David, descendant of Rabbi Jesus, God, you went to Solomon in a dream and asked him, what is the one thing you want more than anything else? And he didn't ask for power. He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask for a long life. He didn't ask for riches or the death to his enemies. What he asked for, quite simply, was the wisdom to rule this kingdom. Now, my point of contention here is that Solomon was 14 years old at the time. He recognized that he did not have the military prowess experience that his father had. And so he asked for wisdom, which was the wise thing to do, right? There shall be none wiser than Solomon. But where the flaw I see in Solomon, in your plan with Solomon, and not a flaw, but it goes like this. He had the wisdom. He just didn't have the experience, the life experience in which to apply it in the right way. Because as we know, King Solomon eventually fell from grace and was the catalyst for the splitting of Israel. By your decree, not by man's decree, by your decree, and the division of Israel is not illegitimate, like some Jews will say. It is not. There is no state of Israel right now. That was created by the UN. You did not give the okay for Israel to come back together again. You did not. And according to the Tanakh, the Jewish Bible, the capital of Israel is Samaria. The capital of the kingdom of Judah is Jerusalem. There's a fucking difference. And the Bible, the Jewish Bible, gives a very detailed explanation to a T. All the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Everything makes perfect sense. For the criteria the genetic criteria that must be met prior to the reestablishment and reunification of the kingdom of Israel. And it never once says that it's going to stay in the same place. We're talking about the spiritual Israel, the state of being. I don't know what that is. That was created by the UN. The UN does not work for you. I would bet you that if we kick the fucking door in at the UN and say, who do you work for? Or if we sat down every UN ambassador down in a room with the door locked, just one-on-one, who do you work for? I will guarantee that not a single fucking one of them, no, not even Israel, will say God, Hashem, the creator of the universe. All right, perfect. If anything, they'll shit their pants and go, we work for you. I know, you do now. But early on in King Solomon's reign, he was confronted with quite an issue. So, Torah law is very explicit. If there's a civil dispute between her citizens and it cannot be resolved by the citizens themselves, this is why every Jew is obligated to be a Torah scholar, because everyone needs to know the law. You need to be your own lawyer. If those two civilians, they cannot rectify and come to a reasonable ruling, it's their job to go to the officials of their particular district. Now, if the case is that complex and the official himself cannot come up with a good ruling, he has to go to his higher up, which is the magistrate. If the magistrate can't do it, he's got to go to the Levite priest of his district. If the Levite priest can't do it, he has to go to the high priest. And if the high priest can't fucking come up with a ruling, he's got to go directly to you. Then you hand down the ruling to him, him to him, him to him, him to him, until finally we come back to the original case and say, here's how it's going to be. In the time of King Solomon, a particular case came to his attention. Now remember, King Solomon is like the president. So obviously the officials couldn't figure this one out, the magistrates couldn't figure this one out, so rather than trouble the Levites, they went right to the king. Technically the king and the high priest should be the same person, but we'll get to that another time. So King Solomon said, it was these two women, two whores, two prostitutes, and they were carrying a baby, and the one woman said, we both gave birth at the same time last night. Her baby died, and then she took my baby, or she wants to take my baby as her own. And the other woman said the same thing. She goes, no, that's my baby. Your baby died. And the two women they're arguing over whose baby died so they can keep the one baby that's alive. So King Solomon said, all right, no problem. Fetch my sword, please. I have a solution. What we're going to do is we're going to chop the baby in half. This way both women get a piece of him. The one woman said, yeah, fuck it. I love that idea. The other woman said, no. Just let her have the baby. King Solomon then said, all right, give her the baby. Only the true mother would not want to risk the life of her child. All right, you feeling me now? Now you understand the logic behind blowing up our own city? All right, world, get your shit in order. Otherwise, we're going to hit this button and I'm going to fucking blow up New York. Right? Well, I mean, that's assuming I'm in a position of power. Like, let's just say I'm afraid that one day I would be elected. I'm afraid of getting elected president because I would do that. I wouldn't have a choice. Well, your handlers wouldn't let you. What handlers? Did you ever watch that show, The New Pope? Or The Young Pope? I just started watching it a couple weeks back. I'm starting to feel like I need to get back to it. But the young pope, is this young guy who gets elected as the Pope, played by Jude Law. Young as in, like, I don't know how fucking old he was at the time, in his 40s. I think he was about my age. I'm afraid of being elected the Pope. I'm so afraid of being elected the Pope. Why? Because I don't want people to confuse me as a Catholic, because I'm not Catholic. I'm a Jew. What? I thought I saw something. But as soon as he starts a job, his first day as Pope, he goes into his office and one of the cardinals come in, and the cardinal's trying to tell him how things are. All right, so this is what I take care of. This is what we do over here. This is how we go about things over there. And then the young Pope goes to him. He's like, all right, can you do me a favor and go get me a coffee? And then come back. He had to put that fucking guy right in his fucking place real quick. And the guy knew. He couldn't put up any kind of fucking fight. It's a cardinal. What kind of power do you got? Yeah, nothing. See, this is why I believe that the Catholic Church needs a Jewish Pope. An ethnic Jew, which is not necessarily a religious Jew, because Lord, Hashem, do I have a religion? Like, I don't have a religion. I study Torah. Torah is my religion. How about that? Torah is my religion. Islam is my religion. The Gospels, that's my religion. The philosophies and principles that are laid out by your messengers, by you and your messengers. That's my, quote, religion. If I go to church, it's because it's your church, and I'm doing a service to you by even stepping foot in that fucking place. If I volunteer time to the church, it's because I'm doing you a favor. I'm doing a mitzvah for you. And bridging the gap, going, hey, I'm a Jew. I don't mind helping out Catholics. What qualifies you as a Jew? We got to get into this again? Lord, do we have to get into this again? You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of some motherfucker questioning my Jewishness and me losing my shit. And just making a complete mockery of you and all other Jews around, because I'm incredibly sensitive about it, because I have a hard time struggling with it myself. And the reason I have a hard time struggling with it is, right, that reminds me of Rabbi Zalman's Tanya. If something seems impossible, just trust that it's the absolute truth. Trust in you more than anything else. Just like fear God more than anything else. Fear God, trust God. That's a lot of responsibility, I know, but luckily as us Jews, and soon everyone, will come to see, in a reasonable manner, that's beneficial for everyone, that God is infinite. As in, there's no limitations. The invisible God, the hidden God. God doesn't exist, not in the way that you don't think he does. You're right. The God that you don't believe in is the same God that I don't believe in. Your puny, primitive little mind couldn't even begin to grasp a mustard seed size of the infinite nature of the Lord my God, the God of my father and my father's fathers, the Lord of Israel, God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, my father, which I said, but I will say him again because bless his soul, my Father in heaven. My Lord, I'm afraid of my father not being proud of me. I'm afraid of people being right, that my father is rolling over in his grave, even though he wasn't buried. What'd you do with him? Burnt him. It's like he asked. You have nothing to be afraid of. Oh my God, you know what? I'm afraid of being on Lisa Bilyeu's show too. I'm so afraid of that. Why? Because I'm afraid that Tom would get jealous. Why? Because I'm just very charismatic. I'm very attractive, very magnetic. But I would love to talk to her. She seems like really interesting. I like how she's very like focused. And she reminds me of Miss Kim a lot. I think that's what it is. Because she doesn't look exactly like Miss Kim, but they have the same kind of like form. They have the same form. Different matter, same form. Like even facial wise too. Like they have the same kind of like shaped head. And I don't want to say mannerisms, but like if Miss Kim was elevated to a higher status, I could see her being like Lisa Bilyeu. Like a very entrepreneurial woman. But I'm afraid of getting in trouble for this. I'm afraid of my mom finding out. I'm afraid of my mom losing her shit. Oh my God, I'm afraid of my mom losing her shit. I'm afraid of my mom yelling at me. I'm afraid of my mom coming home tonight and not being happy with the way the house looks. I'm smiling, but that's a legitimate fear. Little fear has the potential to expand into great fears, which is why it's wise to give our fears a voice to God so that God can extinguish them for us. But the trouble with fear, I know I was going off on that whole thing, but like the really important note to take is that, like I was saying when we first came in here, the hardest thing about voicing our fears, which is why I brought it up and which is why I wanted to do this, is by speaking it, by having to think about it, we're conquering it. Because if we were that afraid of it, we would just keep. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. And I know that some of these things might have seemed goofy, but these are things. I've been wanting to be on the Joe. I've been wanting to have a. Don't be the type of person that seeks to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. Be the type of person that the Joe Rogan podcast seeks to have on. You feel me? And that's like that's a life goal of mine that I've been working on for 20 years? Something like that. How long has the Joe Rogan podcast been on? How long has Joe Rogan been doing podcasts? I think he used to be on the Opie and Anthony network on Sirius XM for a little bit, I think. But I could be wrong. Oh my God. So, what else is there? There's fear. Kind of lost my shit. We went over blowing up a United States city as the president to put the fear of God into every other nation throughout the world. Obviously there'd be time to evacuate. Maybe. I don't know. Hey, listen, if I'm ever put in the position, just trust that if I was ever put in any of these positions, not just the megalomaniacal ones, but also the rational and reasonable ones, I wouldn't be there without God. And I wouldn't be able to do anything that he himself would not give me the green light to do. You feel? So for those God-fearing people, I should point that. Thank you. Elon Musk has this bad habit. Well, he's got a good habit or a bad habit. I don't know. He's got a habit of saying he serves humanity. I don't serve humanity. I serve God. God serves humanity. I don't give a shit about humanity. That's not 100% true. What I give a shit about is a world where my next generation of children don't have to worry about growing up to be like you fuck-ups. You fucking parasites. Oh, you know what? You know what I'm being reminded of? I'm being reminded of the golden calf. You fucking golden calf worshipping pieces of shit. Money, you fucking mammon loving motherfuckers. I fear money more than I fear God. Yeah, let's see about that. So, when you had Moses up there, when you had Moses up on Sinai, and the golden calf incident was going on, and you said to him, Moses, my boy, step aside and let me smite these fucking dogs, and I will build you up a new nation, one greater than this. And Moses said, no. Temper your rage, my lord. Because if you wipe them out, word will get back to Egypt. And ultimately, in the long run, it's going to look bad for us. Because then the people are going to talk and say, oh, well, their God led them out into the wilderness and then killed them. They were the sacrifice. Fine. Go deal with them. I find myself in that situation right now where, Lord, get the fuck out of my way and just let me smite this fucking planet. Start over, fresh and clean. In Genesis, you said to Noah, after the flood, I'm never going to do that again. I promise. You didn't say that you weren't going to allow humanity to wipe itself out. And I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I want to be alive to watch humanity wipe itself out, and I want to be the one to hit the fucking trigger button. It's my fucking dream since I was a child. Anger issues? My lord, do I have anger issues? Because I look at it like this. Here's a way that I really do look at it, is the fact that I allow myself to even go to that place. Because this magical, whimsical wonderland, what the fuck? This whimsical wonderland that you see all around me, this is my healing place. You just get to see this on camera. The real shit is when the camera's turned off. But also there's nobody around. Try to imagine that this is actually dialed down. But the necessity of doing that, the necessity that comes along with channeling rage and expressing rage and anger, frustration, embarrassment, shame, guilt, regret. I'm afraid of regretting this. I'm afraid of this being the greatest thing ever created by a half human. I know I'm divine. I'm a Jew. course I'm divine. Every Jew is divine. All right. Can we... Ego? 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 My lord? Let's temper it. Thank you. No, but I feel it's necessary to say that I wasn't controlling you. That was just me tempering myself under your mindful watch. I'm being reminded of Pilate. That's not how you say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm reminded of when Pilate said to Jesus, Rabbi Jesus, and he said, I have the power to kill you. I have the power to put you to death. You only have as much power as the one above me gives to you. That's facts. That's some hard shit right there. I only have what power he grants me, so it's like I can't do anything. To be perfectly honest, all I do, being a servant of God is not as like extravagant as you would think. I mean, it's almost if I look at it from a godless perspective, it's really fucking depressing. It's like seriously depressing. But, and when I say godless, I mean outside of my own perception. Like, the only reason I can be so sure with God is because of our experiences together. We've just built that kind of a bond. So I recognize that anyone who is not me cannot see what I can see. Because they have not experienced what I have experienced. So, the fuck are you talking about? This fucking dude is fucking talking like a cuckoo bird. Yeah, I know. But this goes back to the original intention of this video, which is fear only me. Capital M me. God. My Lord. I'm just looking at them. What? Emotional control. Yeah, I take great pride in my capacity to control my emotions. It's a song. We're playing a song. There's music playing in here. My weakness, my kryptonite is take my headphones off. You ever see Something About Mary? What's her brother's name? My pork and beans. It's not Arthur. It's not Ned. Willis? No. William? No. I said Walter already. I said Walter! I know, but I'm trying to think of what his name is. It's right there. It's right there. Ben Stiller says it at the end of the movie. Ben Stiller, he lifts the headphones off his ear because everyone knows, do not touch her brother's headphones. Because if you touch his headphones, he fucking goes into like a fucking wild mongoloid fucking berserker mode. But at the end of the movie, Ben Stiller, he's demonstrating to Mary why he's the perfect man for her. Something about Mary, something about Miss Kim. Jesus Christ. My Lord, I'm afraid that we're never going to get this woman out of here. Like, is it a sex thing? Is it just a sex thing? Because if it's just a sex thing, just say it. Holy shit. Is that all it is? Just tell me that this is just bottled up sex. All we have to do is have sex one time and I'm done. We're done. We're gone. Is that it? That doesn't seem very Torah-like. That's my weakness. That's a weakness of mine. That's a very deep rooted vulnerability that the more that we talk about it, the more that we get to the actual root of the problem so that we can eventually pluck it out. So maybe the reason that she keeps coming back is because you haven't actually followed where she's leading you and then pluck that fucking motherfucker right out of the fucking ground by the roots. It's a woman thing. I have this need where I need to have a woman by my side. I haven't been married in 6 years. I haven't been... Don't you bitch. Do not ever say that. I haven't been happily married... 7. 6.5. 6.5. That's true. I miss having a woman, but after she left, I'm being reminded of stuff. Hold on, what do we got left on this? Oh, you want to go hard? You want to go that hard? I'll go that hard. Fuck it. Let's do it. Well, we's about to get into some mommy shit. I can do mommy shit. I don't mind. Or is it daddy shit? Ooh, is it daddy shit? I can see that too. All right, let's just get it on. Let's just get it on. Let's just go hard. All right, fuck it. Let's go this way because there's more empty space that way. I know where that plays. I know where they both lead. It's just this way's longer. That's a 15-minute walk. This is about an hour, which we're only at 52% on the battery, and we're at an hour now. So we started this at 75%. We're dropping 23% in 1 hour. That's not bad. That's not bad. So that means that we have at least... Oh, because you know why? I know why. You want the technical answer? Because the light's not as harsh as it was this afternoon, which means that the camera and phone don't need to record as much data at one time. So it's... I just wanted to sound smart because I know what I'm talking about. During the day, I get about 2 hours, 20 minutes if I go hard. Nah, that's not even going hard. This is going hard, doing 3 of these motherfuckers today. Normal is 2. But I mean, I can push it to 2 hours and 20 minutes. If it's nighttime, we can usually do about 3 hours before the battery, or not before the battery, but before the storage unit. So the memory is filled up. All right, let's fucking do it. All right, so what do we have? Let's just start. Let's start at the most basic. So what we recognize is, how you doing, man? Good, yeah. All right. What we got is Little Miss Kim has been living rent-free up in this motherfucker for, let's calculate that back. It is May 6th, 2025. Little Miss has been living in here full-time since June 10th, 2021. Fuck! That's almost 4 years. Holy shit! All right, this has got to stop. You want her there? Is that what I got? See now. See, let's pretend. Let's pretend I'm wrong. You don't want her there. You want me to figure out how to get her out. I've tried being a dickhead. I've tried fighting. I tried talking to other women. But have you ever tried talking to another man? Fuck you. Ugh. Not in that way. Hey, listen, I don't care. I don't care what you put inside yourself. I don't care who you love. Neither does God. God does not care about the gays. He loves the gays. Loves them. He fucking loves them. But children of Israel were forbidden. Everyone else, it's a suck fest. You want to suck and fuck and love men and women on women and men on men. I know, Scott. How you doing? Father Aldrin, how are you? And Father...
Say the name, remember?
I don't know if we ever met.
But we met.
We did? Oh my God, I feel so embarrassed now.
No, you don't need to be embarrassed.
How are you guys doing? You know what's funny?
No, Father Sunny.
Father Sunny.
Yeah. It's not funny, okay? Father Sunny.
But you know what's funny? Is just the other day, I was talking to God, and I said, I wonder what these priests do on their spare time. Do they wear regular, everyday clothes? Like, do you know that they're a priest? And no, clearly. You guys are like completely
you have
undercover.
An answer now.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, I don't know if we ever got to talk this deeply, but Rabbi, Jew. So I study a lot of rabbinical work. That's my main focus is Torah. I know you guys say Old Testament.
Yeah.
I say Torah, Tanakh. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about this a little bit. It's not that I don't recognize Jesus. I know that some Jews, they got like a big problem with Jesus. I see him as a brother. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys are in the mood for a theological conversation, yeah? So, the way I recognize him as a model, as a role model, you know? How do you do Jew the right way? You follow that way. You know what I mean? Because I'm not saying I don't have too many Jewish friends. I don't have too much. I know some Jews, but not to this level. You feel me? What inspires me most about Jesus, Rabbi Jesus, I call him, right? So what inspires me most about him was his capacity to say, I'm willing to die for what I believe in. I'm willing to let you brutalize me, humiliate me, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally abuse me in front of everybody for the sake of what I'm doing.
But do you read New Testament? Have you read any time?
I've read up to, I'm on Galatians 4. So I've read everything up until that point.
Did you read Catholic Bible or some other Bibles?
I have, hold on, I have it in my pocket. I'll let you be the judge, because you're going to know better than me. I keep everything on my phone. I also study the Quran.
Your mother has also come?
Yeah, she's been on vacation.
Okay.
Yeah, she's actually getting back
I
tonight.
don't see in the church these days.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if you guys were going to notice that she wasn't there. But no, she's been on vacation with her husband. They went out to go see my sister, actually. But this is it. The New International.
Okay, NIV.
Yeah, with the red print, which I like. But what I love most about the New Testament is, you know, I was having a discussion with somebody just last week, and they said, Isaiah 53, who does that tell you about? And yeah, it's like, hey, I get it. I see it. But when I read it, I see my own life. Because I don't think we ever got really into my own personal journey. We did, I think, when we had confession. Yeah? There's a lot more that we didn't get into, but
it was confession, so a limited time. We could
exactly. But what ended up happening was, when I read that, I relive everything. And that's what happens when I read any of the Bibles. When I read Torah, when I study Tanakh.
We'll read more and more, and then we'll have another day discussions any other day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll just talk. I will try to understand what you are thinking about Jesus, or we can talk like that.
I love it.
We'll do. Father has got a meeting also.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Please don't let me hold you up anymore. Anyways, good seeing you guys.
See you. Nice.
See you, my friend. Shalom, shalom. Now, it's interesting because during that conversation, I was hearing intrusive voices that were saying, you're harassing these priests, you're bothering these priests. But I know them, as you can tell. So no, it wasn't harassing the priests. It was, hey, fuck it. An opportunity like this doesn't happen very often. And literally, I was just talking to Hashem, we were just talking about this, right? Where I said, what do these guys do on their days off? I can't wait to tell my mother. They wear civilian clothes. You couldn't even tell. There was a time I wanted to be a priest. Well, I'd like to have theological discussions because just like it's their job, I did it. Oh my fucking God, Hashem, I did it. I don't give a, listen, I don't care what their reaction is. They're giggling and snickering. But I did it. I introduced myself as a rabbi. The Lord said, your words, if anyone judges you for not going to rabbi school, just remind them that Rabbi Jesus didn't go to rabbi school either. So, sprechen Sie benga, por favor. That was one of those, and to be perfectly honest, that, what you just saw, that was autopilot. That was autopilot. That was not an accidental thing. Because now try to imagine for the skeptics out there, mind you, that's my mother goes to that church. If you notice, he brought up my mother. I don't know if you could have heard, if you guys heard him, but hey, listen, what were we just talking about? And thank you, Hashem. Hey, one of my things is make Christianity Jewish again. I'm a proponent for exactly that. Thank you. Come on, you motherfuckers. Why? Because I'm standing right here and there's like 100 fucking cars and like not a single one of them is stopping so I can go. Holy shit. Well, we're not on a major highway. That's the problem. And I don't care. There's not even a crosswalk over there. I can cross wherever the fuck I want. Thank you, Hashem. Bring it back. Because we were doing something. Father issues, right? They're going to think you're a lunatic. What do you mean? These are men of God. Are they not? How often do men of God, priests, mind you, get the pleasure of having a conversation with a Jew who resonates with Jesus, Rabbi Jesus? Huh? For them, maybe they don't give a shit. Well, I mean, they were asking me questions. So it's not like there wasn't any kind of interest whatsoever. But, oh my God, yes. Okay, so you don't know this, but my friend, she recently referred to me as rabbi. It's not the first time I've been referred to as rabbi either. That's actually the second, is it the third time? I was having this conversation with my brother's girlfriend the other night. I take my shit serious. Priest, rabbi, whatever the fuck. I just like rabbi. I've been wanting to be a rabbi for a long time. And at this point, I've come to recognize that my rabbinical skills, my rabbinical prowess, is enough to stand up to the chief rabbi. I will have no qualms with that, because I guarantee, I promise that you, my Lord, would be backing me up on that whole motherfucking thing to the point where that rabbi would learn very quickly to know better than to challenge me. Not that it would get that aggressive, but and my experience with rabbis has been, they're very good listeners. The intention would actually to be zero animosity and zero aggression whatsoever. Spiritual conversation, just like Father Aldrin had just proposed. Now it should also be noted that the head priest of that church, he was supposed to call me. We were supposed to have a coffee. Hey, my love. He was supposed to call me. We were supposed to have like a coffee chat. Because I helped out doing some stuff. I was talking about the volunteering for the church. Like when I volunteer for the church, I'm doing you a favor, right? So I had done well, I think what happened was I saw that guy who plays Jesus. I saw an interview of him, and it triggered. I got this like thing in my throat, probably from smoking. Sorry, man. But it triggered an old wound in me, where you know what? Well, it'll make for a good confession. That'll make a fun one. Well, my confession is that I hold resentment and jealousy and envy to Rabbi Jesus. I always have, ever since I was a kid. And when I was younger, I couldn't stand this motherfucker because I hated the idea of someone being more special than me, you know? All the magic that he did, like, get out of here. If I can't do it, then it can't be done. But what ended up happening was, thank you, my Lord. Thank you, Lord. Because I'm a spoiled fucking brat. The Lord God, Supreme Master, God of the Jews, God of Abraham, God of my father, my father's father. I love you so fucking much. Because I'm such a temper tantrum crybaby, he taught me how to do all the things that Jesus can do. He taught me how to understand how it was done. You probably can't even tell, but I've been doing it this whole time. I do it with, it's just like, it's not even something, what was the term that we used earlier? It's a passive skill. I speak in allegory. I speak in metaphor. So when you read the Bible, and then this is what I was trying to say to them, is like when I read any of it, like I'm seeing my own life reflected back at me, which is the real intention. Right? People will say like when you study Torah teaches you to look at yourself. Yeah, exactly. But then at the same time, so does Jesus. When you read the life and times of Rabbi Jesus, you're getting the same story 4 times over with minor discrepancies. But don't throw the discrepancies away, and the primary message, the primary principles of what's going on is just repeated over and over again. It's to fucking pound it into your head. Is that when you stand up to the establishment's gonna fuck you up. So, if you're gonna jump, little froggy, you better be prepared for the big black boot to come and stomp your ass. Trust me. That's the point. That was the primary message that Rabbi Jesus was trying to demonstrate, which was fear God more than you fear death. Because God, what did God tell Jesus? Don't worry about it, nigga. You'll be back. You'll be back. All Jews have the same superpowers as Jesus. He was just the one that was putting it on display for everyone to see. Which was a problem. At that time. It's not a problem anymore. Because at that time, they had their own shit going on. So, the persecution of Jesus was not necessarily the persecution of Jesus. We're trying to do something, and this fucking guy is causing a disturbance. But again, like I said, you fuck with the establishment, because that's what he was doing. He was fucking with the establishment. And the establishment came down on his ass hard. And it sent a very clear message to every Jew moving forward. Is this what you want? Like, what's the shit that happened to the disciples? I think one dude got boiled in oil. Another dude got skinned. They didn't give a fuck. Not to mention the fact, and that was another thing too to take into consideration. That's another thing to take into consideration too, is that we saw him as a threat in such a way that if he continued on the path that he was going, he would have eventually, if he hadn't already at that point, pissed off Caesar. You're talking about being the king of the Jews. Nigga, we put a king in power for you. Keep your mouth shut and just do what we tell you. Pay your taxes and that's it. The last thing that Caesar wants to find out about is that there's some crazy Jew marching around town saying that he's the fucking king of the Jews. You understand? And I know he wasn't necessarily saying those words, I'm the king of the Jews, I'm the king of the Jews. But everybody else was saying it. That's the fucking problem. And God forbid, Caesar did something about it and said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's wipe all these motherfuckers out. Now, I know that's a very godless perspective because you're a Jew. You shouldn't be afraid of that shit at all. I know. But not all Jews are trained to that level of fear of God. That's why Rabbi Jesus was taking one for the team. Do you understand? How he got deified, I leave that up to the Gentilians who somehow took over the Christian movement. Because that's what it was. It was a movement. It wasn't a religion. It was a movement. Rabbi Jesus, when he said, I'm not here to change the law, I'm here to fulfill it, he was fulfilling a very particular law known as the false prophet. And that's something I wanted to bring up. Hey, you know what, my Lord? I double dare you to put me in a position where I have to say this. In the book of Romans, Paul's very clear. Rabbi Jesus did not become the Messiah until after he died. So, by that logic, what was he before he died? Some would say a prophet, but I'm looking for a much more specific answer. If he did not become the Messiah until after he died, what was he before he died? All right, on three. 1, 2, 3, a false Messiah. Now, anyone studied in Torah law knows the consequences of posing as the Messiah. It's a death sentence. I'm not saying Jesus wasn't a prophet. Every Messiah is a prophet, but not every prophet is a Messiah. Because had he been the Messiah, he would have done the things that needed to be done in his lifetime. But, like Paul said, he became the Messiah after he died. So, what does that mean? That means that his legacy lives on. The work that he began as a false prophet shall be resurrected by the next generation of Messiah, whom the Jews we call Mashiach, King Mashiach, who will be the one to reunite Israel and Judah once and for all, reestablishing the kingdom and creating the new world order that everyone's gonna fucking bow down to, or what? There is no or. There is no or. That's the thing. There is no or. Because we aren't in control of anything. The Jews are in control of Hollywood. The Jews are in control of the music industry. The Jews are in control of money. No. Our God is. We aren't in control of anything. Some Jews will argue with me and say that there is such a thing as free will. I am in the minority for now. I'm in the minority for now that when it comes to being a Jew, there is no such thing as free will. We do not have control over anything. Even if there be a Jew that says, I'm in control of all the stuff, you're not. You're not in control of all the stuff. God's in control of all the stuff. We just do what he tells us to. That's it. Stop saying you got free will. Because that means that you are in control when you're not in control. If you were in control, your Mashiach, or your version of Mashiach would be there. Would be there doing the things, yeah? So, my point is, you shall know him because he will be continuing the work that Rabbi Jesus started and that he left off. That the false prophet Jesus, the false Messiah, Rabbi Jesus, was doing. And it wasn't a false Messiah of his own accord. That wasn't his fault. He was chosen. He had to do it because nobody else was doing the job. So, again, going back to Torah law, at the very end of Deuteronomy, you have to read through the whole motherfucking thing. Genesis to the end of Deuteronomy to see this. And it's explained crystal clear. Where you gave Moses during his farewell address, his final farewell address, he laid out a list of all the blessings and curses that will befall the people of Israel. And you said, not until all of these things have been fulfilled. Every single fucking one. Up until Rabbi Jesus, I don't want to say the only one. Up until Rabbi Jesus, there's no records that I'm aware of a false prophet being put to death. Which is a commandment. Do not listen. So the Jews who didn't listen to Jesus, they performed a mitzvah. They fulfilled a commandment. Do not follow a false prophet. So those Jews who viewed him as a false prophet, they made it so. By not following him. The only reason that Jesus' crew, his street crew, were going and picking up any bum off the street was to fill the seats at the table, to fill the seats at the party, which is one of his teachings. The parable of the rich man who throws a dinner party, but all of his guests back out at the last minute. What he's saying is that God sent him to be this thing. It's time to celebrate. Party started. But because nobody showed up to the party, he sends out his servants to go and collect anyone. Don't let the food go to waste. The spiritual food, the soul food. And so to put this baby to bed too. Not only do Christians not replace Jews, because again, even Paul says Jews come first, and I'm gonna give a thumb up to my friend Father Anthony, who during his Easter liturgy, he said that Jews come first, then the Christians, because that is what God's covenant lays out. Technically, study Torah law. The stranger who lives among you. Those are the Christians. Those are the Muslims. Well, technically, Muslims is a little bit different. It's different and the same. It's different and the same. But it's all. See, Muslims come from Ishmael. Jews come from Israel. Both come from Abraham. So it's like a. It's a lot of like fine print. Fine print, because Torah law doesn't take into account Muslims or anyone who is not of the line of Jacob. So it's a little tricky. But by the time that Muhammad came around, like, we had fucked up so bad that's why he called on the children of Ishmael. Well, and got to fill the seats somehow, yeah. But anyway, where were we? We were supposed to do mommy and daddy issues. That's what I thought we were doing. I thought we were. Hashem, you son of a. How did you do that? We were about to uproot Miss Kim, and then you distracted me with Father Aldrin and Father Sonny. Like, what? Come on, man. What if the intention is not to uproot her? Sorry, Q-tip. You like Q-tip? I love Q-tip. Abstract. What am I thinking about? I'm not mad about the idea. I'm not. I don't like how it's a constant distraction. You know what I mean? What if you just need to do what you're doing right now to get it all out of your system? This way, when future Miss Kim is in your life, you don't have to worry about all this other nonsense. Get it all out of your system now. This way, it pretty much just takes care of itself and you can just focus on Miss Kim. You mean like work-life balance? Think back. Oh shit. All right, so when my son was born, or I think it was before he was born, his mom, I believe, was still pregnant with him. And one of my biggest regrets as a parent, not my son wasn't a regret, but it was it was an achievement that I regretted not prioritizing prior to having a child. But in my defense, I wasn't planning on having a child because I was planning on killing myself. He was like a very last minute, on the spot decision. You just said, I know. And I can look back now and understand why he was so necessary in my life. Even to the point right now, I understand why everything had to be that way. Because my Lord has been gracious unto his servant, teaching me how to recognize the butterfly effect of my life up until this point. You feel me? If you know this song, the beat's about to drop, right? Wait, there, missed it. I was off time. But, But I remember one day I may have been drinking. I don't know. I don't want to give credit to the alcohol, but the thought had crossed my mind. Like, my regret was that I hadn't established myself financially, professionally, spiritually. I don't think spiritually was on my mind at that point, because I was still playing with Satan to fight you. And I think this was one of the things that really pissed me off about you. Well, yeah, I mean, the night we conceived, I knew it wasn't an accident. I was trying to calculate the odds. I was trying to calculate the odds of how the fuck did we do that on the night that she was most fertile in her cycle? How? Of all fucking nights. How do you know that? Because when we went to Planned Parenthood and she was discussing the situation with the nurse, or I don't know what those people are, nurses or what, but when she was discussing the situation, what happened, the woman said, and she gave the date of conception, because this was only like a few weeks after. Because we still weren't, I mean, listen, I told her, whatever you want to do. I'll support you, whatever you want to do. You got me for at least 18 years if you decide to have him. I'm just going along for the ride at this point. Basically. But when reality really kicked in is when I started thinking, like, I wish I had established myself, and I had money. I don't have to worry about going to this fucking job. I had been in a career. I mean, my career was only 2 years old at that point, maybe a year and a half. And you know what ended up happening was I ended up staying in that place for another 12 years. Or another 11 years, because I didn't quit until right before his 11th birthday. Because him and his mom, they moved out, 7 years ago tomorrow. 7 years ago tomorrow. So do you have a message for your past self? My Lord, you're still distracting me from Miss Kim. I know, but try to imagine that Miss Kim's not supposed to be your focus. Try to imagine that you're perfecting yourself for a future Miss Kim. We're just labeling her as Miss Kim. Miss Kim is the archetype. Miss Kim is just the archetype. Just focus. Even if it's not, let's just say it's not the Miss Kim that you want it to be, but let's say the Miss Kim that you get is going to be a lot better than the other Miss Kim, if it's not the Miss Kim that you want it to be. Just saying. Thank you, Lord. I'm perfecting you for the sake of any Miss Kim. Just any fucking Miss Kim at this point. Fair. So Bring it back. So it was May 7th, 2018 when they left. And then it was July 6th. Yeah, July 6th was my last day. It was when I was like, when I text the COO of the company and said, I'm going to be letting the company go. Oh, no, how did I put it? I fucking loved it. I felt like you know in Fight Club? When narrator like beats the shit out of himself in the manager's office? That's how I felt. Now, granted, this wasn't to the same effect. I mean, I fucking did it through a text message at 11 o'clock at night while I was high. I smoked a blunt. But I had a lot of thinking to do. I had been planning on quitting the job for a month. And I was hoping that they were going to fire me so I can collect unemployment, but they had pushed, they crossed a boundary. They crossed a boundary that only I knew about. And when they crossed that boundary is when I went, okay, it's time. Fuck 'em. So I was trying to start my own business in relation to tarot card reading, astrology, mysticism, magic, wizardry, witchery, and it got to a point for me that the job itself was actually taking up too much of my time, and I had to let it go. But I was scared. I was fucking deathly afraid. And the interesting thing is, I think it's the week before I quit, where there's an entry in my journal, because I journal, my whole life's journaled. Well, my whole life from June 3rd, 2018 to today. But it was in those early journals where I wrote, and I remember this is like one of my favorite things, is I wrote that I was trying to manifest it. So I was writing, I got fired. Congratulations, yay, I got fired, hooray. So happy, right? So eventually I had to do a little bit of self-inquiry, and I asked myself the question of why I don't just quit. And I wrote, oh man, I wish I had the book on me. Like, cause this is like my favorite quote ever. I know it's gauche to quote yourself, but when you got good shit, when you got gold, like you better let that fly. You let it burn. I meant when you got fire, when you're spitting fire, you just let that shit burn. There you go, right? Thank you, Lord. But what I said was, why don't you just quit? Because I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? I don't know. I don't know. What am I afraid of? Well, now I feel kind of stupid. It's something like that. I don't know. But then a week later, the next entry, 1 week later. Well, so that was written on a full moon. It wasn't planned that way, by the way. It was not planned that way. But then the next important journal entry is then found on the third quarter moon. It was a third quarter moon in Aries. It's my favorite third quarter moon ever. That third quarter moon in Aries. It only happens once a year when the sun is in Cancer. But the next one on that entry, because I like to read them from, like, I only put emphasis on the full moon. This is a new thing. I only put emphasis on the new moon, quarter moons, and full moons. So when I go back and review them, when I go back and read them, and I read them in a particular order, that's the order that I read them in. So I'll skip all the exposition in between and just jump from new moon to first quarter to full to third quarter to new. I just let the gaps fill themselves in. Because everything else, like I said, it says exposition, and it's like, if somebody else wants to read that shit, fuck it, let them read it. But this is the shit that I'm focusing on. So on the full moon, I'm almost positive it was the full moon, that I wrote, well, why don't you quit? Why don't you just quit? I don't know. I don't know what I'm afraid of. I don't know what's good. Or what would happen if you quit tomorrow? That's what it said. Thank you. What would happen if you just quit? And I wrote, I don't know. then what's holding you back? Fear. The next week, you read it. This is my first morning without waking up to an alarm clock. I did it last night. And what I texted dude was, hey, I'm still gonna take my day off tomorrow. I had the day scheduled off because I wanted to see my son. I wanted to spend time with my son, which I did not do, by the way. I did not do it. But my intention was to spend time with my son because of everything that was going on, because of the separation. But again, that didn't happen. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I put you on the back burner. I'm sorry if I made you feel less than my son. I don't want you to feel that way, because you're not less than my son. I don't give a shit if me and your mom were married or not. God doesn't care that you're an illegitimate kid. It doesn't matter. I don't care that you're an illegitimate kid. You're my son. I love you. I have always loved you. From when you were just a little embryo zygote. That's why I let her decide. It was my choice. It was my decision. Okay? Let's take God out of the equation. God, do you mind if I take you out of the equation? Thank you. It was my decision to have a baby, and I let it be her decision if we kept the baby. Okay? So, never, not once did I tell her, you gotta fucking kill this fucking thing. No. It wasn't like that at all. And my plan was to stay with your mother until you were 18 years old, and that's it. The reason, this is a selfish reason. The reason I had you, one of the reasons I had you, was to save your mother's life from me. Because I was afraid. I was deathly afraid. I was more afraid of this than God. I was afraid of losing her. Meaning, I had a vision. I had a bad feeling. I had a bad feeling that if we continued living life the way that we were living it, that it would have led to her overdosing on drugs. And I didn't want that shit to fall on me. Because I know how obsessed your mother is with me. And at that point, I couldn't get... I'm trying to use as delicate as language as possible, but I couldn't cut the fucking parasite off. No matter what I did. Trust me, I tried. The whole reason that we were living together at the time was because I couldn't get rid of her. I tried. I really did. But she wouldn't take no for an answer, and eventually I just said, fuck it. Let's see where this goes. And it was the best decision of my life. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing. Never, ever, 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 ever. If I drop dead right now, and God's court, God of the Jews, my God, if his court says, you fucked up, your life was shit, you're a fucking piece of shit, we're gonna make you watch the whole thing all over again. We're gonna make you watch your whole life. This way you feel the cringe of all your decisions. I would sit down and I would, give me the popcorn. Give me the popcorn. Can I kick my feet up while I watch this? Because Daddy loves his life more than anything else. And I owe it all to you, my son, my little baby bubble boy, because if not for you, I would have killed myself. And/or killed your mother. Or killed myself because I killed your mother. You see what I mean though? Like, that's why I don't regret you. I don't regret you in the least. Because you saved my life. You're my little Messiah baby. My illegitimate Desmond Snow. I'm only half joking. Look at Jon Snow. Jon Snow didn't turn out to nothing. He ended up, I don't know what ended up happening at the end of Game of Thrones and HBO. But from what I think I understand is like he got with the dragon lady, which is super cool. All of his other brothers and sisters, all the legitimate children, they all got fucking wiped the fuck out. But it was the bastard son who ended up getting all the glory, yeah? You feel me? And then even Tyrion Lannister, even Tyrion and Jon Snow, those were the rejects of the family. But they got the biggest reward because of all the bullshit that they had to deal with. So when it comes to that kind of, it's funny when I said the thing about killing myself after I kill your mom. There was a dude sitting there, so he heard me. I'm like, fuck. But it's all right. You know what I meant. I know what I meant. Hold on. But my point, my boy, is I love you like I love myself. Now, some people might find that hard to believe, but that's straight from fucking Torah right there. That's a commandment from God. Love your fellow like you love yourself. Love your son like you love yourself. Love your wife like you love yourself. So why didn't I love mommy? I did love mommy. I loved mommy the same way that I loved myself, which was I didn't love myself. I didn't show myself the love that I needed. So this time apart from you, I had to reparent myself. My Lord, God, help me and put me on the path for which I could learn how to be my own mommy and daddy while living with my mommy. But to do for myself that my mom doesn't have the time to do for a grown-ass son. You understand? To be there to hold me when I'm crying. To be there to fucking crack the goddamn whip on my ass when I need to get shit done. You understand? All the shit that I was doing with you, busting your balls and stuff, like I've been doing it to myself before God came into the picture. Once I got to a certain level and God saw that I was not as big of a piece of shit, yeah, basically. He went, all right, now for the next stage of your training. So, thank you, Lord. I appreciate that. I kind of feel like that got like a lot off my shoulders. So, the fuck is this Miss Kim thing? So, she's this lady that imprinted on me. That imprinted on me. I'm not saying that the thing with Miss Kim is not real. I mean, it's definitely real for me. I just don't know about Miss Kim. Why don't you ask her? Because when I ask her, she doesn't say anything. Have I ever asked her that question, though? I don't know. Like, I was talking the other night about this, and my brother's girlfriend asked me, she's like, well, were you open about it? And I said it like I thought I was. I really did. Now, it's possible I was putting too much on the table. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible I was putting too much on the table. But the intention was not to hold back. The intention was to say, fuck it, let's see what happens. And I made one of the best friends I ever had. I wanted to be more than friends. I don't want to say that she didn't want to be more than friends, but she wasn't ready for the type of commitment that I wanted. Why? Well, I don't know. Because she had a life. She had her own shit going on. And I could only do so much. And that was part of the reason why. Because I did see her as a genuine friend. And I'm only saying this. Like, I put up with a lot of shit that had it been anyone else, I wouldn't have put up with. And it wasn't shit. I have very intense feelings for this person, and that person sees me as like a rock almost, as like a stabilizer. But once, and as a friend, that's a friend thing. But my friendship did have boundaries when it came to her, because you had conditional friendship. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh my God, this is fucking good. It was a conditional friendship. But that's why it lasted as long as it did, because the condition was to take as much as possible. I don't care how many times she crosses a boundary, because I'm not setting any boundaries with her. You understand? I didn't set boundaries with intention. And I have it written down. I don't care if she marries another man. This is about being her friend. This is about being someone that she needs. Because when I first met her, she was a fragile little girl and was dealing with a lot of shit. And though I saw her and was smitten, I understood that my personal needs, wants, and desires needed to go on the back burner. Not that they weren't there, but I put it all on the back burner and focused on doing my best to be a friend. And I thought, in my own personal opinion, that I had expressed that part of my intention was to eventually be more than friends. I'm starting here, but this is where I want to go. Do you understand? Now, mind you, majority of our situationship was via text. When we did see each other, we never got into the ooey gooey stuff. Though, thank you Lord, because I'm not the one that put my ring on her finger. I did not put my ring on her finger. She took the ring off my finger and put it on her own finger. And don't say alcohol. I don't give a shit if we had 0 beers or 20 beers. And we only had 2, by the way, if I remember correctly, at that point. And I said, you did that. You did that. I didn't make you do that. And then she turned to Mrs. Shiroria and said, oh, you could be my bridesmaid. So, and again, you said that. I didn't put a fucking gun to your head. But my issue came when other men were being involved. I'm going out with this one, I'm going out with that one. And listen, I don't know what I don't know. It's none of my business. But I'm an incredibly jealous man, and I knew that I had to take it. Because one, she's not my girlfriend. But I can't get this woman out of my... Funny, good song, yeah. But I can't get this woman out of my head. Why, what's playing? You know that song by Kylie Minogue? I Can't Get You Out of My Head? You're listening to Kylie Minogue? No, I'm not listening to Kylie Minogue. But if you're familiar with Raymond Watts, formerly, well, of Pig, Raymond Watts of Pig, KMFDM. Yeah, no? Enough. All right, good. So he did a cover of Can't Get You Out of My Head. I love his cover of Can't Get You Out of My Head. So, where are we? So, right, it's not until the other men were involved and she started going out with other guys and it stung, you know? Like it hurt. And there was a point. Nice shot with the moon. It's all right. So I took as much as I could take. I did. And after 2 years, I mean, I honestly don't believe that men and women are good, can be friends forever. Eventually, it's going to have to go somewhere. I believe. Especially when one is attracted to the other. Especially when one is attracted to the other. So, again, I took it as far as I could go. And eventually, I realized, you know what? If she's going to be talking to other people, if she's going to see other people, then she doesn't need me. She doesn't need me. I don't think so, because I'm not doing that. I just don't have it in me to be a woman's man friend when you want that woman to be your woman friend. You understand? Like, it's nothing against you. But I want a serious woman in my life. And if you're not willing to be a serious woman, say something. Say it. Just say it. Then we can cut the bullshit and just go, all right, you know what? We had a fucking really good run. That was awesome. I was hoping we were gonna go a lot further than this, but you know what? I'm very satisfied with the level of depth that we were able to achieve together. And watching you grow and blossom. Woman, I wish I could have raised you up even higher. But I ended up putting you on a pedestal, and this is where God kicks in. So it's shortly after we break up that you and I hook up. We get the Torah going, we get King Solomon and the fucking planetary time cooking. We're doing some serious fucking shit. So I recognize that not only am I getting in the way of her life, I'm getting in the way of her fully living her life, in the sense that if she's going to be seeing other people, she can't have a man friend. One that's disrespectful to the other guy. And knowing men like I do, being one, he's going to fuck it up anyway. So don't worry about it. And as foretold, he fucked it up. Big time. Big time. I don't know if he ever fixed it back. Oh, I don't know nothing. A woman's love life is a woman's love life. I'm not getting involved with that, especially with a woman that I have a thing for. Unless it has to come up. If it has to come up, it'll come up. You're avoiding. Yeah, I can see that. Especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Big fucking time. Oh yeah, I'm avoiding. Who isn't? Who is not afraid of having their heart broken? You know? And it wasn't, hey, even if it was intentional, my Lord, I forgive her, but I don't think it was intentional. I had my heart broken with her many times. Every time that she told me that she was going out with somebody, that broke my heart. Especially when she was telling me she was going out with somebody and they were doing stuff that she said, oh, well, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that. And then she did the thing with other people. And I'm like, what? The fuck? That hurts. That hurt. I still got wounds, obviously. But, thank you, Lord, it was all in preparation for what was to come. See, I like to bring up the prophet Joseph, the son of Israel, many times. Not the biological father of Jesus. But the reason that I like to bring up Joseph a lot is because in that portion of Torah is where we really get a full, deep understanding of just how little free will we have. Because all the bad shit that was happening to Joseph, because Joseph just fell into shit constantly. His brothers hated him. Then they kidnap him, throw him into a pit, sell him into slavery. Then he becomes a slave. Then his master's wife tries to sleep with him. And because he wouldn't sleep with her, she lied to her husband and tells him that he tried to rape her. Then he gets thrown in jail. Then he spends like 10 years in jail. Before word of his ability to interpret dreams came in handy for the Pharaoh. Then they pull Joseph out of prison. Then he gets a fucking great job. And he gets a fucking amazing wife. An amazing wife. The story of Joseph is on a grander scale the same as the story of Job. On a much bigger scale. Because Joseph had everything stripped away from him. His family, every fucking thing. He was a fucking leper. He was a slave. He was a Hebrew slave. In Egypt, they don't give a fuck about Hebrew slaves. Look at this. That's as close to... That's as close to a nigger as you're gonna get. He was a nigger in ancient Egypt. The only reason that they treated him as well as they did was because everything he touched turned to fucking gold. And they saw it. He knew all the stuff. He was quick. But when the guy's wife said that he tried to rape her, who are you gonna believe? You're gonna believe a Hebrew slave, or you're gonna believe your Egyptian wife? He had no choice. It's politics. But my point. All that bad shit happened to Joseph, preparing him for what hadn't happened yet. So when we're talking about this future Miss Kim, the reason that we're talking about this future Miss Kim is that there is a future Miss Kim. The only reason I'm calling her Miss Kim is because Miss Kim is the fucking, the apparition that lives in my head. And I can't, it's not that I want to get her out of my head. I mean, I do and I don't. I'm thinking of that Gloria Estefan song with the cat. Get out of my head and into my car. You know what I mean? I don't have a car though. But that's why I was losing my shit on Hashem. That's why I was losing my shit on you earlier. Is because I'm telling you, shit will get off the pot, bud. Let's get this ball rolling. I'm fucking. He told me he was 6'7". Like, I either want to move on or see where this goes. But there ain't no one there. You feel me? And if there's nobody there, then why is there someone here? And if it isn't gonna be her, that's right here, then let's get somebody in here to replace who's here now. You feel? You feel me? I know you feel me. I know you feel me. How do you know that's not already the plan? Well, I don't. I'm just saying. I'm venting. I'm venting. It's been a long week. And this feels like it's gonna be my last opportunity to like purge so fucking much. My lord, we have done a fucking killer, an epic fucking job over this last week. I feel like almost it's a good thing that Mom and Mike are coming back, because they're gonna force me to have to kind of like slow down a little bit or speed the fuck up. I don't know, like, to be perfectly honest, since they've been out of the house, I have had zero fucking distractions. It was amazing. to the point that, how do I say it? Because usually, like, she'll ask me if I want to go to the store with her, if I want to go help her with returns. Sure, yeah, I'll go. If you're not busy, no, don't worry about it. I got it. I can get back to this when I get home. Don't worry about it. I got you. And it's not that I don't love spending that quality time with my mother. I do. I know my father, I know my dad's proud that I had rebuilt that relationship to such a meaningful and in-depth and incredibly positive mother-son relationship that how the fuck could I have mommy issues still? I don't think it's even possible. Oh, that's why. Okay, remember when we were going back? Okay, you don't have mommy or daddy issues. Your mommy... if you had mommy and daddy issues, then you wouldn't be able to hear me because I am the product of your healed mommy and daddy issues, which is why other people can't hear me the way that you do. You are the perfect receiver because you have cleared all that out. God damn. That makes so much sense. What about with my sister? Don't worry about that. That's all good in the hood. You have no idea how easy that is. My brother? Perfect. Think back to that hour conversation that you had with him today. Good point. So what left do we have to rectify? Who said you had anything left to rectify? Stop looking for shit. Do you remember the reading from Freya Ray from last night? Stop looking for things to fix because then you're going to keep on thinking that you have something to fix when you have absolutely fucking nothing. You good. You understand? You're good. You might be, in Scientology terms, you might be the actual first human being to achieve a clear state. That's how fucking perfect you are, you motherfucker. I love you. I love you too, my lord. I fucking love you. This is Mashiach, by the way. When you hear the Jews say, "Where's Mashiach? What's Mashiach?" This is when every Jew has achieved Mashiach. Mashiach is a state of being. It's an experience. It's a man. It's a time period in human fucking development. It's the next phase of human evolution. It's the next phase of Jew evolution. Fuck, I love this song. No, I feel good right now. I'm still a little jacked up on caffeine, but I'm all right. I had a cup and a half of coffee over the course of the day. All right, so the reason why it's not... and you know what? Thank you, Hashem. Okay. So check this out, right? So it is the obligation of the Jew to fear, love, and adore God. When I broke up with Miss Kim, I love Miss Kim. I love Miss Kim. I adore Miss Kim. I fear Miss Kim. But here's the problem. That fear, love, and adoration has to go to God, not to Miss Kim. Fear Miss Kim, what do you mean? I fear losing her. I'm afraid of losing her. I fear losing Miss Kim more than I fear you. Ah, you see it? That's all the it coming out. I learned that from Mia Magic. Ah. Oh my God. I never said that one out loud. That felt like last year when we had the thing about I'm trying to get my mom's approval. Remember how hard it was for me to admit that? I'm more afraid of not getting my mother's approval than I am of you. That's not... Let's try that again. Can I say it again? I'm more afraid of losing Miss Kim forever than I am of you. Oh my God, I could feel that. It's like there's a tightness in my stomach. Ah, fuck. Why? What is that? I don't like this feeling. Why? I don't know, because I don't understand it. I don't understand, like, I don't understand it. What the fuck is happening? It took us 2 hours to get to that? Think back, young little caterpillar. Think back. That's a badass song too. This is like totally. This is my secret Derek and Miss Kim song. The Antwort, Pitbull. We talked about living together once. She said we would probably do better living together, not as partners, because if we were together, we would probably kill each other. Do I remember my response? Of course I remember my response. I said, yeah, we would either kill each other or we would have the fucking best sex ever. Trust me, I looked into it. Compatibility between a Leo and a Gemini. The sex meter was off the fucking chart. Saying. I fear not having sex with Miss Kim more than I fear you. You don't feel bad about saying shit like this? Why should I? I'm trying to heal myself. I'm trying to think back to when we first started this. What did I say? Thank you, Lord, for reminding me. I said, God, please, you see the inner parts of my heart better than I do. I need your help to look at those spots that I'm afraid to look at on my own so that I can see what I fear more than you. Get the fuck out of here. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. I'm a fucking servant of God. I'm a fucking full-time professional servant of God. I dumbed myself down by saying that I was a fucking rabbi. I'm sorry. That's no offense to any of my rabbi friends. Past, present, or future. I have a fear of walking into a spider web, and there's a spider web with a spider just hanging there. But no, well, yeah, a little bit. No, because rabbis have infinite potential. Every rabbi has the potential to achieve this. So I'm sorry if I made it. I'm sorry for downplaying the role of the rabbis. I'm sorry about downplaying the role of rabbis altogether, because it's not right. I'm sorry for downplaying the role of the priests, of the imams, who I've been talking shit about a lot lately. My Lord, whether they are above me or below me or equal to me, whether they see me as above them or below them or equal to them, I'm sorry. And it goes for all the races too. I know I take I know I come off like one of those like I have a superiority complex. I know that I do. I've always had it. That's the thing. It's like, but that comes with my ego. And if you understand Jewish soul science, we call the ego the Yetzer Hara. That's the Satan. That's your ego. There's the individual internal Satan, but then there's also the external Satan. So it's like the collective Satan of all of humanity. So the idea is to transmute and transform that inner Satan into a teddy bear. To fear God more than you fear Satan. That's it. By showing Satan, forgiving Satan. I forgive you. I forgive you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lord, I am invoking Satan. The Satan, and the Lilith. Both of them. Because, right, is there anyone higher than them? You. Okay, perfect. Lilith and Satan, on behalf of the entire human collective, Jew and otherwise, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for blaming you for everything. I know you like it. I know you get off on that shit. I get off on that shit too. I love it when people fucking hate me. But I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you too. I know that you're only doing your job. It goes for both of you. You're both only doing what you were hired and created to do. You're not a scapegoat. You never made me do anything. You never made me do anything. God made me do it. Satan didn't make me do it. God made me do it. God, am I wrong? God made me do it. Okay, thank you. I like that. God made me do it just like God made Jesus do it. God made Moses do it. God made Joseph do it. God made all the patriarchs do it. God made the Prophet Muhammad do it. That's how deep we roll. I love you too. And it's my intention to fear you 15%. How long do we make it? Like almost I think we're at almost like 2.5 hours, yeah? Yeah, 2 hours, 26 minutes, 42 seconds, 43 seconds. That's not bad. Had this been fully charged, we probably could have made it to fucking 3 hours. But my lord, what I'm trying to say is, my intention is to fear you absolutely. To have absolute fear in you and you alone. Because I know that when I place my fear into you and allow you to take control of all of those things that I'm afraid of most, then everything works out to my benefit better than my monkey little dickhead mind can possibly imagine. Because you are so much more perfect than I am, but it is my honor and pleasure and privilege to see my perfection reflected back at me through you. King of Kings, Emperor of Emperors, bad motherfucker of bad motherfuckers. You, whom I would lay my life down for, and I would give. Now I don't want it. I'm not giving you Desmond. He came before, unless he wants to. But all future progeny, all yours. Just like the Levites, all of my future children are yours. They belong to you. They are servants of you, as long as they want to be. Well, as long as you want them to be. Just like the Levites. Someone has to carry it on, yeah? I don't know, unless you're gonna make me immortal. I mean, physically immortal. I would very much love to beat the record, Methuselah. I mean, what's he got? 975? I'd love to make it to 1,000. That'd be pretty dope. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. How did we do? I think you did fucking amazing. I think you did fucking great. Can we say that one more time, by the way? I just want, like, we only have 14%. Like, we might be able to pump out another half hour. I'm more afraid of losing Miss Kim forever. Oh, I'm more afraid of not spending my life with Miss Kim. I'm more afraid of Miss Kim not wanting to spend her life with me. Ah, yep, thank you. That hit the spot. That hit the spot. Fuck yeah. Oh my God. I am so afraid of Miss Kim not wanting to bear my children. Oh, fuck. No, I'm not gonna vomit. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm having like one of those fucking massive breakthroughs right now. What else? What else? Anything else? Like something juicy. I'm more afraid of not being the man of her dreams. I'm more afraid of not being her own personal Jesus Christ. Derek Christ. Derek Mashiach. Derek Mashiach Al-Mahdi. Don't you think you're overdoing it? No. It's a long, like, I know what I'm talking about. It's just, it's a thing. It's like a little bit of a fantasy thing. Oh my God, I'm more afraid of not saving her from Uncle Hugo. And liberating her from Uncle Hugo. I'm more afraid of her. I'm afraid. I'm more afraid of having too much of an influence and forcing her into this. That's a big fear of mine. That's a major fear of mine. Why would you be afraid of that? Because it has to be, for me, it has to be a certain way. Like, I don't like the idea of feeling like I'm pressuring someone. I'm afraid of pressuring her. You know, that's why I do this. That's why I come out and I get this shit out of me and I don't have to, that's why I unfriended her. That's why I unfollowed her. That's why I wiped out the group that we were in. Because I don't want her to think every single fucking time that she logs on to fucking Facebook or Instagram that she's gonna see my face there constantly. I give her some fucking breathing room. You know what I mean? That's what it was. And when we did the 11 and or 15-week review on the first quarter moon in Leo, we went back to the full moon in Leo, and I wrote that. I don't like the feeling of feeling like I'm pressuring her. I don't like it. Because if she wants Derek, then she'll want Derek on her own. Derek's not gonna have to do anything. What if Derek already did all the stuff? Well, that's the other thing. It's like, if I already did, let's assume I already did all the stuff, and I don't need to push the fucking point anymore. Hi, I like you a lot. What do you want me to fuck? What, like, you know what I mean? I think 6 years later, after everything that we've been through, if you don't get it, then you ain't never gonna get it. You feel? I don't understand women. Okay, I don't know how women work. I know how one woman works. And technically like one, and even that one, I don't even know. And I can't claim to know how my mother, my mother is inside me. But there's a whole woman thing. Like there's a level of woman that man cannot penetrate. Do you understand? We can't go to a certain point. I don't think. Right? Just like there's a point with man that woman can't penetrate, which is what the allure between man and woman is, so that we can understand each other better. I'm afraid it's just a sexual thing on either one of our parts. Why? Because I'm sexy as fuck. But I think she's sexy as hell too. That's why I'm not afraid of the sex thing. Well, I am afraid of the sex thing. I have a sex fear. I have a big time sex fear. But well, I don't mind that. Nothing lasts forever, right? So make the most out of it. But what are you making what are you doing with it? That's what I'm saying. Well, don't worry about what the future holds, because if you knew the future, then the future wouldn't even be worth having. And that's a good point. I feel it. Yeah, I'm thinking about Moses. You told Moses the future about what he was going to do with Pharaoh, but you didn't tell Moses about the 40-year wandering in the wilderness. Yeah. Yeah, if you told Moses about that part, I'm sure he would have been, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you definitely sold me on that. Now, we're gonna hold off. We're gonna hold off on telling you about the 40-year wandering until you're there. And instead of telling him that he was never gonna, you knew that he was never getting in. But you waited and then made him feel like shit about it. Oh, because you didn't, I told you to talk to the rock, but you hit the